Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Tuesday, August 5th. Happy Dinger Tuesday, everybody. The Dong Report is back in your life. I'm going to have 8 total players on Dong Watch for today's Dong Report. Of course, going to give you my 3 favorites if you just want to tail those, but we'll also give you all 8 if you want to spray the board like I did. Really, really good day yesterday. Got 3 guys to hit home runs, 3 players to hit home runs. Thankfully, 2 of the 3 that hit were of my 3 favorites. That was Tyler O'Neill and Pete Alonso. I had a pretty tough stretch there where the favorites weren't doing that well, but the other ones were. Kind of just shows you the hit or miss nature of home run betting and why I personally like to spray the board. But regardless, very good day yesterday. I didn't love the slate. I put 0.1 units on all of them, and we ended up having a really good day. Should have unit sized up, but you could always say that. Up 0.78 units on the Dong Report yesterday. That brings our total profits on the year up to 3.6 units. It's been a really, really good run for about 6 weeks now or so. I think it started in June, the middle to late June, when I started to spray the board again, and it's been really, really good since then. Of course, there are going to be some bad stretches, some 3 to 5 day stretches where things don't go our way, but overall, it's been awesome. Very, very pleased with how things are going. Up 3.6 units on the year, up over 3% ROI on the year as well. These numbers just keep climbing as the season has gone on after a brutal, basically 8-week stretch from all of April, all of May, and half of June. That sucked, but it's been awesome. I can't complain at all. The Dong slate today, from a weather perspective, is not incredible. Only 4 games in the green for today, and then there's a couple average games as well. Now, I do have a play in one red game, which I almost never do, but I'll explain why I have that. But the weather, it's cooling down a little bit. You see like the temperatures. There are some hot ones, like in Coors, which is always great. Some 80s games here at the bank, Dodgers in LA as well, but it is cooling down, like the 70s in DC, the 70s in Seattle, the 70s in Atlanta. Which is why you see the weather in the 60s at Fenway Park, which is why you see the weather not as juicy for home runs as it has been. Mostly agreement with Weather Edge on the weather not being great. They do like the Tigers one, which Ballpark Pal does not. Everything else is mostly even from a weather perspective. The Rockies game is the best one, which makes sense because it's Coors Field and that game's in the 90s. Wind blowing in at Wrigley, to me, is a no-touch. I know a couple home runs were hit yesterday, but that's mostly a no-touch for me. Disagreement on the Dodgers game, and they have the Angels one as mostly neutral. So, all in all, not the best Dong slate from a weather perspective. There are a lot of home run pitchers on the mound today, so I actually don't hate the slate from that perspective. And we'll just get right into it. The first play that we're locking in here is Gunnar Henderson. We are taking him to hit a home run. He is best offered at plus 350 odds at ESPN Bet. Best offered price here. I will admit, Ballpark Pal doesn't love this one. They don't have the true odds super high for Gunnar. I'm okay with that. I really like it. Couple reasons why. This game at Citizens Bank Park, one of the better home run games. Tied for the best home run game from a weather perspective. I guess I should say it's completely neutral from a weather perspective, but it's Citizens Bank Park is a hitter-friendly park, which is why you see it one of the best games today. The biggest thing here, Taijuan Walker is pitching for the Phillies, and he is an absolute piñata. The guy just gets absolutely torched. Not a good pitcher by any means. You look at his last 3 starts, 2 home runs, 3 home runs, 2 home runs, and then no home runs allowed. That was in San Francisco. That doesn't even count. His last 3 starts, a combined 7 home runs, is horrific. Now, he's bad against both righties and lefties. I am targeting Gunnar against him because Gunnar has been hitting very well, and the 2 players that I went with on the Orioles yesterday, I only like to take them against lefties. That would be Tyler O'Neill and Jordan Westburg. So I think Gunnar is the best bet here. Gunnar's starting to come around from a home run perspective. He's had a pretty brutal year overall, but he's hit 2 home runs over the last week, which is pretty good. And he's hitting the ball very, very hard. You look at him, this is over the last 7 days, and this is all of baseball. You look at him, he is one of 9 batters that has 13 or more hard hits over the last 7 days. That is very, very, very impressive. And he's got a pretty decent barrel rate as well. at 15%. Now, that's not going to put him in the Hall of Fame, but that's a pretty decent barrel rate, and it's better than what he has been most of the season. So he's still hitting more ground balls than what you would like, 40% ground ball rate, but he's starting to get more lift on it than recently than he had been. So that number is definitely going in the right direction for us. And it's as good of a matchup as you could possibly ask for against Taijuan Walker. So I feel pretty good about rolling with Gunnar Henderson to hit a home run. Again, that's at plus 350 odds at ESPN Bet. He's the first of my three favorites. Next up, excuse me, the second of my three favorites is Ezequiel Tovar. But I'm also taking Warming Bernabel as well. So I'm taking both of these players on the Rockies, with Tovar being the second of my three favorites. So if you just want to roll with the favorites, take Tovar. If you want to spray the board, take both. The biggest thing for them, this game at Coors, Ballpark Pal doesn't like it as much from a weather perspective for home runs. I mean, they love it for runs in general, but they don't love it from a home run perspective. Granted, you look at the temperatures in the 90s. The low humidity is tough, but also the low barometric pressure is going to help with carry. And it's Coors Field. The ball's going to fly. Weather Edge really likes this one from a home run perspective, so kind of take that with a grain of salt. Regardless, it's definitely going to be good in some capacity from a weather perspective. And the pitcher that is pitching for the Blue Jays gets rocked by right-handed pitching. That would be right-handed hitters. That would be Jose Barrios. Over his last 5 starts, he's allowed a home run horrifically every 11 at-bats. That is disgustingly bad. And you look into these numbers across the board. K rate, red, doesn't strike anybody out. Average high, home run per 9 high, ISO rate high, barrel rate high, hard hit rate high. Sure, the line drive rate is low, but the fly ball rate is very high. It is just a horrifically disgusting number across the board for Jose Barrios over the last 5 weeks. And you look at him on the year, it's not like it's any better. Home run every 7. I mean, I guess it's slightly better, but it's still bad. Home run per 9, or home run every at-bat under 20, that's bad. K rate below 20%, that's bad. Barrel rate, red. Hard hit rate, red. Fly ball rate down a little bit, but still a bad number. I mean, you get the point. He's bad. And you look at players that are hitting well in the Rockies. It's those two guys. It's Ezequiel Tovar and it's Warming Bernabel. You look at them, Bernabel and Tovar both have 9 hard hits over the last week. Now, no barrels for Bernabel, but the fly ball rate is low. But previously, you look at the last 14 days, he's got 2 barrels, and that fly ball rate is a little bit higher, and 13 hard hits. Like those are pretty healthy numbers for a guy that was recently just called up. And Tovar's been fantastic. 17 hard hits, 6 barrels over the last 14 days, over the last week, 9 hard hits and 4 barrels. That is very, very impressive. And his numbers, fly ball rate and pull rate, is exactly what you look for. The other guy that I considered was Hunter Goodman. I just didn't like the odds on him, so that's why I held off. Really only that, just the odds. So if you're one of those people that you don't care if the odds are stinky, then go with Hunter Goodman as well. The biggest thing and why I like Tovar the most is he has really good numbers against the sinker. And that pitch for Barrios, his sinker doesn't sink, so we call that a stinker. I stole that joke from somebody. And and Tovar hits the stinker very well. You look at him on the year against the stinker. So this is on the entire year. 217 ISO is okay. 8% barrel rate. Those numbers are fine. But you look at recently, which is what I wanted to show you. Much better numbers against the stinker. 25% barrel rate, and those numbers across the board are not terrible. Bernabel has barely seen any stinkers, so it's nothing to say there, good or bad. But in good weather against a dong ball pitcher and 2 guys that are hitting very well, especially Tovar, I feel really good about taking both of them. I should give you the odds. That's part of the reason why I like it, Bernabel. So when I bet him, he was 600. He actually moved up to 650, so you can get him at 650 at a better price than I got. And Tovar is at 500 pretty much across the board. So not a lot of line movement there, but 500 across the board. Normally when you play home run plays at Coors, you have to pay a price like you do on Goodman, like you do on Barger. You're not doing that with these 2 players. So I think they're both really good plays. Tovar and Bernabel, again, with Tovar being the second of my 3 favorites. And the third of my 3 favorites might be my favorite player in the MLB recently. It's my guy, Colson Montgomery. He's just been fantastic. and the books just don't catch up to it. He is offered at plus 650 odds at Bet365. He's been incredible. You look at all batters over the last week, and Colson Montgomery is one of 16 batters, which is a decent number, but still pretty good, with 4 barrels. He's got 10 hard hits in that stretch as well, so those are pretty healthy numbers. And then you go to the White Sox, just to look at him specifically. Obviously leads the team in both of those categories. And then you look at the last 2 weeks, 9 barrels and 20 hard hits. That's very, very, very impressive. You compare that league-wide, and he is one of 4 batters with 9 or more barrels in this stretch, and 20 hard hits is very, very good. So he's obviously been hitting incredibly well. And the pitcher, he's going up against Brian Wu. Brian Wu sounds like somebody that you don't want to target because he's a good pitcher, but he can get hit up by lefties. And the biggest thing is his four-seam fastball can get hit up by lefties. On the entire year, home run allowed every 21 at-bats to left-handed hitters. That is perfectly within the range that we look for. You look at his last 5 starts, home run. So it's every 51 at-bats, so that's a little bit scarier. Still throws the fastball a ton. And his Sierra is above 4, which is below average. Now, these numbers across the board, the hard hit rate is high, fly ball rate is kind of high. The rest of the numbers are decent, but the Sierra is high, which kind of measures the quality of the batted balls allowed along with the walks and strikeouts. And that number is high, so it's not like he's completely unhittable. And again, the four-seam fastball 60% of the time, that can get hit up by anybody. And you want to know who hits four-seam fastballs really, really well on the White Sox? That would be Colson Montgomery. 333 ISO, 11% barrel rate, 50% hard hit rate, 25% fly ball rate. That's over the last month. You look at the entire season, which for him is not the entire season because he hasn't played the entire year. It's pretty good numbers. 300 ISO, 10% barrel is average, 44% hard hit rate is average, fly ball rate is fine. But he's been hitting very well. Wu can get hit up by lefties, and we're getting an awesome price at plus 650. And this is a neutral weather game, literally 0% from a weather perspective. Now, Seattle's never going to be super juicy, but at least it's not terrible, which is fine. So Montgomery is the third of my 3 favorites. Remaining, I have 2 players on the Rangers, Corey Seager and Rowdy Tellez. They both might sound kind of random because they're not hitting super well recently, but what I wanted to do here was fade Will Warren. So first, let me give you the odds. And I don't think Ballpark Pal pulled odds for Rowdy Tellez. He is 650. Let me remember real quick. Yeah, 650 at Bet365 is Rowdy Tellez. And then Seager is plus 375 at Bet365. What we're doing here is we're fading Will Warren, who has been horrible recently against lefties. You look at him, home run per 9, or excuse me, I keep saying home run per 9. Home run allowed every 13 at-bats to left-handed hitters is disgusting. Horrific numbers across the board, kind of like Taijuan Walker. I mean, or Jose Barrios too. I mean, all of them. Really, really bad numbers across the board. Sierra high, K rate low, average high, home run per 9 high, ISO rate high, barrel rate high. The hard hit rate is not that bad, but also the K rate is that bad. So a lot of balls put in play with a decent line drive plus fly ball rate. And Tellez, he doesn't play every day. He only plays against right-handed pitching. So he didn't play yesterday with Max Fried on the mound for the Yankees, but the last couple games he has played, 2 hard hits, 1 barrel, 2 hard hits, 2 barrels. That's pretty good. Before that, 1 hard hit is acceptable. We see a lot of pinch hitting and stuff, so he's not an everyday player, but when he does play, it's against righties. And he hits the four-seam fastball really, really well, which is what he's going to see half the time from Will Warren. So you look at batters, kind of similar to what we just did with Colson Montgomery, batters on the Rangers who hit the four-seam fastball well, the top 2 guys, Corey Seager and Rowdy Tellez. 20% barrel rate for Tellez, 11 for Seager. The hard hit rate is high for both, with Tellez hitting a ton of fly balls as well. Seager not so much, but still very good. Seager, if you look at him over the last week, it doesn't look that impressive, but over the last 14 days, it's much better. 6 barrels and 14 hard hits over a 2-week sample size. It's pretty good. It's not incredible, but it's acceptable. So that's kind of why I am going with him. And then the last 2, so we're going with Freddie Freeman to hit a home run. He just hit one yesterday, so some people aren't going to like that, but Ballpark Pal loves him. It's actually plus 440 at FanDuel. Those odds moved 10 cents up. Actually, maybe they moved back down. Check FanDuel, either 430 or 440. Either way, I would take it. Freeman's been fantastic recently. You look at The last 7 days, you look at total barrels, he's got 4. He's one of, kind of tied with Montgomery and Tovar, one of 16 batters with 4 or more barrels. But he's got 14 hard hits, and he's one of 5 batters with 14 or more hard hits. And the pitcher he's going up against, Dong Machine, another guy, absolute Dong Machine, Miles Michaelis. Over the last 5 weeks, he's been horrific on both sides of the plate. Against righties, every 11 at-bats. Against lefties, every 12.6 at-bats. He's been terrible. Freddie Freeman's been fantastic. Ballpark Pal loves it. It's decent weather for home runs, as you can see here. And that's really all it takes. I mean, Michaelis throws a bunch of pitches, none of them well. As you can see, extreme advantage in favor of Freddie Freeman. So I like going with him a lot. And then the last play we have here is Carrie Carpenter, Barry, to hit a home run. He is offered at plus 410 odds at Fanatics. For whatever reason, Ballpark Pal is not pulling Fanatics, but he's plus 410. If that's not there anymore, I would still take 400 at both ESPN Bet and FanDuel. Now, Barry recently came back from injury and has been pretty good since since he has come back. You look at him, 3 barrels, 8 hard hits over that stretch. Now, he hasn't played every single day. He won't play against lefty starters. So if you look into the games he's actually played, 1 hard hit, 1 barrel yesterday. And then sure, 1 hard hit in the games against the Phillies. Granted, this one was a pinch hit, so we only got 1 at bat. But then before that, 2 hard hits, 1 barrel, 3 hard hits, 1 barrel. And those are his games since he's returned from injury. The guy he's going up against, Zebby Matthews, is not terrible. But the 2 things that he does is he throws the heat. And that's, 2 pitches, the slider and the four-seam fastball. And that's what Carrie, a.k.a. Barry, can hit very well, those 2 pitches. He hits the heat very well. Like, you look at the 2 pitches, the most common for Zebby, four-seam fastball and slider. That's over the last 5 weeks. You look at the entire year, it's the same thing, four-seam fastball and slider. Now, the four-seam fastball, granted, Zebby hasn't pitched the entire year, doesn't get hit up a ton. It's got a good whiff rate, also got a high hard hit rate. So when batters make contact with it, it's hit pretty hard. And Barry, against the four-seam fastball on the year, fantastic. 342 ISO, 13.92. So basically 14% barrel rate, 50% hard hit rate, 46% fly ball rate. That's fantastic. Against the slider, also really good numbers, 13% barrel rate, 50% hard hit rate, 42% fly ball rate. He does strike out a lot, but that's okay because he's swinging for the fences. So you put those 2 numbers together, and it's very, very good. And that's what he's going to see most common from Zebby. And if you want to add in the cutter, it's not terrible for Barry as well. And those are, that's basically the entire pitch mix. That's 82% of the pitch mix from Zebby. Now, I mentioned this was the 1 game in the red from a weather perspective. But the reason I'm okay with it is because Comerica Park has got a super deep center field and kind of right center field, you see, but it's shallow at the right, close to the foul pole of the right field, which is kind of what I'm trying to say here. So you look at it, it's not terrible from a home run perspective if you pull it to right field. Well, guess who has one of the highest pull rates in the MLB? 70% of the time when he makes contact with the baseball, it is pulled. So if he's going to hit a home run, it's going to be hit to this part of the park, which is why I am comfortable taking Barry, even with the negative weather. And if you look at him, he's got fantastic splits at home. You look at him at home, ISO rate 319, almost a full cent higher, penny higher, 10 cents higher, whatever it is, than it is away. And it's because that short right field really helps when he pulls it. And he does pull it to this part of the ballpark. So you add all that together, I think Barry is absolutely worth taking at plus 410. And that's all we got. So 8 total players for you guys on Dong Watch. Gunnar Henderson, who was one of my 3 favorites. Ezekiel Tovar, who was a second of my 3 favorites. Warning Bernabel. Colson Montgomery, who was the third of my 3 favorites. And then the remaining ones are Freeman, Carrie Carpenter, Corey Seager, and Rowdy Tellez. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out Ballpark Pal if you are interested. I kind of showed you how I use it. This is my Tails account, which is just where I send out every play that I'm on. So if you want to tail but not watch the YouTube videos, that's for you. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.